How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So I was doing Heritage's auction, and I just thought I should do a quick little video on some video game stuff that went up. As you can see here, this is Super Mario Brothers number one, 9.6, and it just sold for $660,000 right here. Just ended. It's crazy. I was watching it. I bid on a few video games. I have a couple investors that basically use me to bid because A, they don't have the time, and also being a dealer, I save on taxes. So I don't have to pay taxes. So anyways, yeah, so I did not bid on this. No. It was a Turtles and a Zelda 2. But yeah, I just want to showcase this is crazy. Like that it went for 660,000, most ever for a video game. There's a couple other ones that stood out to me. This Mega Man 1, 9.4 sold for almost 150,000. A Mike Tyson's Punch Out 9.6 sold for over 100 grand. I love this game. And Super Mario Brothers 3 9.4 sold for 21,000. But it's just crazy where the video game market and the whole collectible market is at. Most of these, I would say, probably aren't. It's interesting. I don't think a lot of these are bought by collectors. I think they're bought by investment groups and different like companies that do whatever they do with them. So one thing I will say with video games is it's in the beginning stages, and just like when CGC first came out, you get like a 9.6 of a early Spider-Man, say like, number 15 or something like that. And it'd be the only one because there wasn't that many graded at the time. And these books would just go sky high. You can look at old records, and first ones out of the gate always made a ton. But then as time went on, because a lot of collectors have their books and they never got them graded, more and more would show up. And so now you wouldn't have just one 9.6, you had five 9.6s. And so it dropped the price. Eventually those prices came back up. But the thing with Wata, which this is the grading company that does video games, and Heritage, which I do not like, is Heritage owns Wata. They're in a partnership. And what happened was, because I knew someone who worked there, is they inflated the market. So what they did is they bought up a bunch of video games. They then bought Wata. They then sent all their video games in and pumped up the market. The first thing they did is they bought a Super Mario Brothers 1. I can't remember the price. They paid something ridiculous price, but they bought it from themselves. They literally sold it to themselves so they can get in the news. And all of a sudden, people are like, hey, video games are really expensive. One that sold for 100,000, one that sold for 200,000. But that was them buying it from themselves to create this frenzy. Oh, video games are worth a lot. Then what they did is they sold all their video games that they had, stockpiled because they bought them cheap. And then on top of that, Wata, I have a friend who just sent some games to Wata. He got it back. It took a year later. A year. So I think what they're doing is they're purposely slowing down everyone else so that their games get graded first and they get it. Because eventually everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, my games are so expensive. And then, and then they're not. Because now all of a sudden you don't just have one or two of the single highest grade. Now there's like 10. Let's see. Atari, Spider-Man. I think this was it. So if we look through, so May, a Spider-Man 9.8 sold for 9 grand. But then one dropped. It dropped in half for a 9.8. As you can see, and look. Then in February, down to 4. And this one, is this 9.8? Yeah, this is 9.8 as well. This one's sold for 4. But they're just all over the place. Look, this one sold in January for 2. Oh, this is 9.6. My bad. These are 9.6, 9.6s, 9.6s. But if you look at the first one out of the gate, sold for 9. Now they're selling for around 4. Why? Because this video game in particular, someone had a distribution box all sealed. And so everyone saw, oh my gosh, my Spider-Man's worth 9. So they hurry up and try to get it graded, and then it's going for half and less and less and less over time. And that's what's going to happen with video games. These video games are going to go sky high, but then once Wata or Heritage allows other people to start sending in their stuff, there's going to be a lot more graded. Same thing happened with CGC. The dust will settle, things will go cheap, and then it'll slowly climb back up once, the collecting market gets its legs for video games, which happened with comics. So it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy where we're at now that video games are selling for, $500,000 or more. All right, just did a quick video. All right. I'll have a video later again today as well.